What if the most beautiful Bond car ever made was created because Sean Connery was too tall? What if Toyota paid millions for placement and still lost money anyway? What if only two convertibles exist and one vanishes for 40 years? Well, this isn't just a Japanese sports car in a spy film. It's a machine built on desperation, wrapped in impossible engineering and worth more than some mansions. Bond's 1967 Toyota 2000 GT hides secrets that'll shock even hardcore fans. Number 20. Sean Connery was physically too tall to fit in the car, and Toyota had to destroy rare coupes. When producer Albert Broccoli approached Toyota in 1966 about featuring the 2000 GT in You Only Live Twice, Toyota was ecstatic. The 2000 GT was their first supercar, designed to compete with Porsche and Jaguar, and Bond placement would establish Toyota as a luxury performance brand. But when Sean Connery attempted to sit in the car during pre-production meetings in Tokyo, disaster struck. At 6 feet 2 inches tall, Connery literally couldn't fit inside. The 2000 GT's roof was only 45 inches high, and Connery's head pressed against the headliner, even with the seat in its lowest position. His knees hit the steering wheel. Getting in and out required contortionist flexibility. Filming was impossible. Toyota faced a nightmare decision. They could lose the Bond placement entirely, or they could modify their pristine supercar into something that would fit Connery. Toyota chose modification. They took two brand new 2000 GTs worth $37,000 each, equivalent to over $300,000 today, and completely cut off the roofs. Toyota engineers had 7 weeks to convert these fixed roof coupes into convertibles, a transformation that required rebuilding the entire body structure. Number 19. Toyota engineers thought the convertible conversion was structurally impossible. When Toyota's management ordered engineers to create a convertible 2000 GTs in 7 weeks, the engineering team declared it couldn't be done. The 2000 GT was designed as a stressed skin monocoque structure, where the roof provided critical structural rigidity. Removing it would cause the chassis to flex and twist, making the car unsafe and undrivable. Lead engineer Jiro Kawano calculated that a convertible version would need a complete chassis redesign, requiring at least 18 months of development and crash testing. Toyota management didn't care. They ordered Kawano's team to make it work anyway because losing the Bond placement would devastate their international expansion plans. Kawano's solution was brilliantly desperate. His team reinforced the door sills and rocker panels with massive steel tubes, added a roll, bar structure hidden behind the seats, and installed diagonal bracing underneath the car, connecting the front and rear suspension mounting points. These modifications added 380 pounds to the car's weight, destroying its carefully calculated 50-50 weight distribution and ruining the handling characteristics. The convertibles drove terribly compared to standard coupes, with noticeable chassis flex over bumps and scary body shake at high speeds. However, they were structurally sound enough for filming, which was all that mattered. Toyota never intended these convertibles for consumer sale. They were pure movie props built to solve Sean Connery's height problem. After filming, Toyota swore they'd never build another convertible 2000 GT. Number 18. Toyota paid $2 million for the placement and lost money on the deal. You Only Live Twice wasn't a case of James Bond driving whatever car the filmmakers chose. Toyota paid massively for the privilege, and it turned into a financial disaster. In 1966, Toyota agreed to pay Eon Productions $2 million for prominent placement of the 2000 GT, plus provide 2 cars modified to production specifications at no charge. This was the largest product placement fee in film history at that time. Toyota's marketing division calculated that Bond exposure would drive sales of the 2000 GT across global markets, easily justifying the investment. But everything went wrong. First, the convertible modifications cost Toyota an additional $800,000 beyond the initial $2 million. blown budgets that executives hadn't anticipated. Then, production delays pushed the film's release to June 1967, months after planned. Most critically, the 2000 GT was selling terribly. Toyota had projected building 1,200 units annually. They actually sold only 337 in total over 3 years of production. The car was too expensive at $6,800, double the price of a Corvette, and Americans weren't ready to accept Toyota as a luxury brand. The Bond placement generated tremendous publicity, but virtually zero sales. Toyota's accounting department calculated the company lost $4.2 million total on the You Only Live Twice partnership, when factoring in all costs against actual revenue generated. It remains one of the worst product placement investments in automotive history. Number 17. One of the two Bond cars vanished for 41 years and was found in a warehouse. After filming wrapped in March 1967, Toyota took possession of both convertible 2000 GTs. One car, serial number MF1010013, was placed in Toyota's museum in Japan, where it remains today. But the second car, serial number MF1010012, was shipped to Toyota USA's headquarters in Torrance, California for American promotional tours. It appeared at auto shows through late 1967, then disappeared. Toyota's records showed the car was returned to Japan in 1968, but it never arrived. For 4 decades, the car's location remained a complete mystery. Bond car collectors searched obsessively. Rumors placed it everywhere, from a private garage in Texas to a scrapyard in Mexico. In 2009, a Toyota archivist discovered shipping documents suggesting the car never actually left California. After months of investigation following paper trails, researcher Aaron Gold located the convertible in a Long Beach warehouse owned by a Toyota parts distributor. The car had been stored there since 1968, covered in dust, but mechanically complete. The distributor had kept it as spare parts inventory for Toyota museum cars, completely unaware of its significance or value. Toyota immediately reclaimed the car and shipped it to Japan. Current estimated value exceeds $1 million, making it one of the most valuable Toyota vehicles in existence. The mystery of why the car was misplaced remains unsolved, with all responsible parties deceased.
Normally you don't see wire wheels.
Yes, it's more.
Number 16, the car's white paint was actually 7 different colors mixed to photograph properly. Bond's 2000 GT appears brilliant white on screen, but here's the secret. That white was actually a complex mixture of 7 different paint colors designed specifically for 1960s film technology. Toyota's standard white paint, called Crystal White, photographed with a blue tint on Technicolor film stock. During early screen tests in late 1966, director Louis Gilbert rejected the appearance, calling it cold and clinical rather than elegant. Production designer Ken Adam needed a white that would photograph as pure brilliant white under various lighting conditions, from bright Japanese sunlight to dark studio interiors. Toyota's paint division created a custom formula, combining crystal white as the base with small amounts of pale yellow, cream, ivory, pearl, silver, and even traces of pink pigments. Each color contributed specific properties under different lighting. The yellow countered blue tint in daylight. The pearl added depth and dimension. The pink warmed the appearance under tungsten studio lights. The final formula took 43 test batches to perfect, with each batch sprayed on sample panels and photographed under various conditions until Adam approved. Toyota spent $19,000 developing this single custom color.
150 horsepower, 5 speeds when most cars barely had 4.
Both convertibles received multiple coats, with the total paint process consuming 3 weeks per car. After filming, Toyota destroyed the formula. The exact mixture was never documented, deliberately kept secret to prevent replication. Modern 2000 GT tribute cars, trying to recreate the Bond white, must approximate it. Side-by-side comparisons with the original museum car reveal noticeable differences.
Thing I never thought I would get to do in my lifetime. Drive what is considered to be
Number 15. The interior was completely fake and made from carved foam. Look closely at the interior shots of Bond and Aki driving the 2000 GT, and you're not seeing a real car interior. You're seeing carved foam and painted wood. Toyota's decision to chop the roof created catastrophic interior problems. Removing the roof required cutting through the dashboard, door panels, and seat structures. The production couldn't simply put the original interior back because the cuts destroyed it, but Toyota refused to provide new interior components, calling them proprietary manufacturing secrets they wouldn't share with British film crew. So production designer Ken Adams' team fabricated completely fake interiors from scratch. They carved dashboard shapes from polyurethane foam, covered them with vinyl, and painted details to simulate gauges and controls. The famous wood grain trim was actual wood veneer glued to foam backing. The seats were modified, Triumph Spitfire seats with custom covers that vaguely resembled 2000 GT upholstery. Most hilariously, none of the gauges worked. The speedometer, tachometer, and other instruments were painted illustrations glued behind plastic lenses. In close-up shots showing the dash, you can see the tachometer is stuck at 0 RPM, while audio suggests the engine is screaming. The steering wheel was real Toyota hardware because Connery needed it for actual driving, but everything else was prop department fiction. Japanese audiences who knew the real 2000 GT interior immediately spotted the fakery When You Only Live Twice premiered in Tokyo, creating minor controversy in the automotive press about the film's lack of authenticity. Number 14. Sean Connery never actually drove the car and couldn't operate the manual transmission. Every shot showing James Bond driving the 2000 GT is an elaborate illusion. Sean Connery never actually drove either convertible during filming. First problem: Connery couldn't drive manual transmissions competently. He'd learned to drive on automatic transmission cars and had minimal experience with stick shifts. The 2000 GT featured a 5-speed manual transmission requiring constant shifting during the planned mountain road chase scenes. Director Lewis Gilbert watched Connery stall the car repeatedly during practice, grinding gears and struggling with rev matching. Gilbert decided Connery would handle dialogue scenes, where the car was stationary or moving at idle speed in controlled environments. For all driving footage, professional racing driver Maston Gregory drove the 2000 GT with Connery as passenger, framed to appear like Connery was driving. In tight close-ups showing hands on the steering wheel or shifting gears, those are stunt driver Takao Horiyuchi's hands, not Connery's. The production used 3 techniques to create the driving illusion: shot reverse shot editing, where Connery reacts to driving while stationary, over-shoulder angles that hide the actual driver, and process photography, where Connery sat in a studio, mock-up with moving backgrounds projected behind him. The most elaborate sequence shows Bond driving through Japanese countryside while talking with Aki. That entire scene was shot on a soundstage with Connery in a stationary car, with all motion and background added in post-production. Not a single frame shows Connery actually driving the 2000 GT under real conditions.
You could easily be forgiven for not recognizing this car because it was never...
Number 13. The convertible tops were added, last minute and only worked. Once, the original plan called for both 2000 GT convertibles to remain topless throughout filming, maintaining clean lines and showcasing the car's design. But 3 days before principal photography began in July 1966, weather forecasts predicted heavy rain during the scheduled shooting dates in Akama. Producer Albert Broccoli panicked, realizing rain would destroy expensive camera equipment and ruin Connery's hair and makeup. He ordered convertible tops installed immediately. Toyota engineers explained they'd never designed convertible tops for these cars. The vehicles were intended as permanent roadsters. Broccoli didn't care, insisting the production needed weather protection. A British props team worked 72 continuous hours fabricating soft tops from canvas, metal framing, and vinyl windows. These tops weren't engineered solutions. They were emergency rain covers held together with hand stitching and metal snaps. Each top took 6 people 40 minutes to install and required special care not to damage the paint. The tops leaked profusely, had zero structural integrity, and looked terrible on camera. Both tops were used exactly once during an unexpected rain shower on the second day of filming. The footage looked so bad that director Lewis Gilbert ordered it scrapped. For the rest of production, shooting stopped whenever rain threatened. The makeshift tops remained stored in the prop truck, never used again. After filming wrapped, Toyota removed both tops and destroyed them, considering them embarrassing to the brand. No photographs of the topped convertibles exist in official Toyota archives.
Two, the prototypes that were supplied to the production team of the James.
Number 12, the famous helicopter. Chase destroyed the car's engine and required emergency replacement. You Only Live, Twice's most memorable automotive sequence, shows Bond's 2000 GT racing along coastal roads while being chased by a helicopter with a giant magnet. That scene destroyed one convertible's engine and created a production crisis. The sequence required the car to reach and maintain speeds over 100 miles per hour for extended periods, while cameras filmed from multiple vehicles and the helicopter itself. Director Lewis Gilbert needed 7 hours of continuous high-speed driving to capture all required angles. But the convertible 2000 GT, with its added weight and poor aerodynamics, wasn't designed for sustained high-speed operation. After 4 hours of filming, the engine began overheating. Warning lights illuminated, but driver Maston Gregory continued pushing because Gilbert needed more footage. 15 minutes later, the engine seized catastrophically. Post-mortem inspection revealed the number 3 cylinders had scored so badly that metal fragments contaminated the entire lubrication system.
00. Yes, Tiger.
The engine was completely destroyed, unfixable. Toyota's nearest replacement engine was in Tokyo, over 500 miles away, and requiring 3 days shipping. The production couldn't afford that delay, so stunt coordinator Bob Simmons made an audacious decision. They pulled the engine from the second convertible, swapped it into the damaged car overnight, then used only that single car for the remaining helicopter sequence. The second convertible sat engineless for the rest of filming. After production wrapped, Toyota shipped both cars back to Japan, where the second convertible received a new engine. The damaged original engine was disposed of, though some collectors believe Toyota secretly kept it.
Get in, quick!
Number 11. Japanese audiences booed the car. At the Tokyo premiere, because of the modifications, When You Only Live Twice premiered at Tokyo's Yamato Theater in June 1967. The 2000 GT's appearance created an unexpected controversy that stunned Eon Productions and Toyota. Japanese car enthusiasts packed the theater specifically to see their domestic supercar in a James Bond film, expecting national pride and validation. Instead, when the convertible first appeared on screen, significant portions of the audience audibly groaned, and some actually booed. In Japanese automotive culture, modifying a vehicle from its factory specification was considered disrespectful to the engineers who designed it. The convertible conversion was seen as butchering Toyota's masterpiece rather than celebrating it. Japanese car magazines published scathing articles. Auto Weekly called it a desecration of automotive art and argued that Bond should have driven a proper coupe. Holiday Auto described the convertible as a mutilated corpse of what should have been Japan's greatest moment in cinema. The controversy caught Toyota completely off guard. Their marketing division had anticipated triumphant celebrations. Instead, they faced angry letters from 2000 GT owners who felt their cars had been misrepresented and devalued. Toyota's president Eiji Toyoda personally apologized in a press conference, explaining that the modifications were necessary for filming and promising the company would never build convertibles for sale. The backlash was so intense that Toyota removed all You Only Live Twice promotional materials from their dealerships by August, trying to distance the brand from the controversy. The incident became a cautionary tale in Japanese business schools about cultural considerations and international partnerships. Number 10, the car's exhaust sound was dubbed from a Ferrari because Toyota's engine sounded too quiet. Sound designer John Barry believed Toyota's 2-liter inline-six produced too refined and quite an exhaust note for James Bond. Barry wanted an aggressive, masculine roar that conveyed power and excitement. The real 2000 GT, with its twin-cam Yamaha-designed engine and sophisticated exhaust system, sounded smooth and subdued, almost a luxury sedan quiet. This wouldn't work for action sequences where audio needed to communicate speed and danger. Barry's solution was to completely replace the Toyota's sound with recordings from a 1965 Ferrari 275 GTB, a V12 Italian exotic with a completely different engine configuration and character. Barry recorded the Ferrari at various engine speeds, then edited and layered these sounds over every scene featuring the 2000 GT. The result is an exciting, visceral soundtrack that has nothing to do with what the car actually sounded like. Sharp-eared automotive enthusiasts immediately noticed the fakery. The 2000 GT produced around 150 horsepower from 2 liters. The Ferrari produced 280 horsepower from 3.3 liters of V12. The sounds are completely different. In several scenes, you can hear 12-cylinder characteristics that a 6-cylinder engine physically cannot produce. Modern streaming versions of You Only Live Twice actually use enhanced versions of Barry's Ferrari recordings, making the sound even less authentic than the original theatrical release. Number 9, the windshield, was made from plexiglass and shattered during every stunt. Both 2000 GT convertibles featured windshields made from quarter-inch plexiglass rather than automotive safety glass, creating constant problems during filming. When Toyota engineers chopped the roofs, they also removed the original windshield frames, which provided structural mounting for safety glass. The convertible redesign included a shortened windshield that no longer fit Toyota's specifications. British production craftsmen fabricated replacement windshields from plexiglass because it could be easily cut, shaped, and replaced in the field without specialized automotive glass equipment. But plexiglass has fatal flaws for automotive use. It scratches easily, yellows under UV exposure, and most critically, it's brittle at highway speeds. During the coastal chase sequence, wind pressure and vibration caused the plexiglass windshield to crack repeatedly. Stunt coordinator Bob Simmons documented 11 complete windshield failures during 3 days of filming. Each time the crack would start at the mounting point and spider across the entire windshield within seconds. The production crew traveled with pre-cut plexiglass blanks and mounting hardware, replacing windshields between takes. Each replacement took 20 minutes and cost approximately $200 in materials and labor. By the end of filming, the production had consumed over 40 replacement windshields. In the final cut, you can spot different windshields between shots during chase sequences by watching for varying numbers and patterns of scratches. Toyota was horrified by the plexiglass substitution, but couldn't provide proper replacement windshields on location in Japan, so the dangerous situation continued throughout production. Number 8, Mie Hama, couldn't fit in the passenger seat and required a custom platform. Mie Hama, who played Kissy Suzuki, faced the same height problems as Sean Connery, but for opposite reasons. At 5 feet 1 inch tall, Hama sat so low in the 2000 GT's passenger seat that the camera could barely see her face over the door sill during driving scenes. Her head was below the windshield line, creating terrible compositions that made dialogue scenes impossible. Production designer Ken Adam needed to raise Hama approximately 7 inches to get proper camera angles. The obvious solution, stacking seat cushions, didn't work because it would be visible on camera and look absurd. Adam's team built a custom platform that fit into the passenger footwell, essentially creating a false floor that raised Hama's entire seating position. The platform was constructed from half-inch plywood with foam padding on top, covered in carpet matching the car's interior. It raised Hama exactly 6 3/4 inches. This solved the visibility problem, but created a new safety concern.
Get in, quick!
Hama's feet no longer touched the actual floor, leaving her with no stable bracing during aggressive driving. During one chase scene, driver Maston Gregory braked hard and Hama slid forward off her elevated platform, nearly hitting the dashboard before crew members could stop the car. After that incident, the production installed a lap belt anchored to the platform itself, keeping Hama secured. But this belt wasn't connected to the car's structure, providing zero actual safety protection. It was purely to prevent sliding. If the car had crashed, Hama would have been seriously injured.
You could easily be forgiven for not recognizing.
Number 7. Toyota tried to buy both cars back from Eon, and the negotiations failed. Spectacularly, after You Only Live, twice completed filming in March 1967, Toyota immediately requested both convertible 2000 GTs be returned. But Eon Productions refused, claiming the cars were their property since they'd paid for the modifications and used the vehicles in production. This sparked a legal battle that lasted 9 months and damaged the Toyota-Eon relationship permanently. Toyota argued they'd only loaned the cars to Eon temporarily, never transferring ownership. The original contract specified Toyota would provide vehicles for production use without explicitly addressing ownership after filming. Eon's lawyers claimed that language meant permanent transfer, especially since Eon had invested heavily in modifications. Toyota offered to purchase the cars back for $200,000. Eon demanded $500,000, an absurd sum for vehicles Toyota valued at under $40,000 each. The negotiation became bitter. Toyota threatened to sue, claiming Eon was holding their property hostage. Eon countered that they'd sue for breach of contract if Toyota continued harassment. Finally, in December 1967, they reached a compromise. Toyota would receive both cars, but pay Eon $300,000 plus agree never to destroy or modify them, preserving them as You Only Live, twice artifacts. Toyota reluctantly agreed, but executives were furious about paying for their own vehicles. The relationship soured so badly that Toyota refused to participate in any Bond film for decades. When Pierce Brosnan's Bond drove a BMW Z3 in GoldenEye, Toyota executives celebrated, believing BMW would face similar headaches working with Eon Productions. Number 6. The car's tires were shaved illegally, thin to lower. The height. The 2000 GT convertibles sat too high for director Lewis Gilbert's aesthetic preferences. Gilbert wanted the car to appear lower, sleeker, and more aggressive on camera. Production asked if they could lower the suspension, but Toyota engineers refused, warning that modifying the suspension geometry would make the cars unstable and dangerous at the high speeds required for filming. Unable to touch the suspension, the British crew found another solution: shave down the tires. They used industrial grinding equipment to literally grind rubber off all 4 tires on both cars, reducing their diameter by approximately 3/4 of an inch per tire. This lowered the overall vehicle height by the same amount, creating the more aggressive stance Gilbert wanted. But shaving tires is phenomenally dangerous and completely illegal. Tire sidewalls are engineered to specific thicknesses to handle loads and maintain pressure. Reducing sidewall thickness compromises structural integrity, dramatically increasing blowout risk, especially at high speeds. The shaved tires worked fine for low-speed beauty shots and stationary dialogue scenes. But during the high-speed chase sequences, both cars suffered tire failures. In one incident captured on camera but cut from the final film, the right rear tire on the hero car completely disintegrated at 70 miles per hour, sending the vehicle into a spin that the stunt driver barely controlled. After that incident, the production stopped shaving tires and accepted the slightly higher ride height. But the initial shaving had so compromised tire integrity that the production burned through 26 replacement tires over 3 weeks of filming, far beyond normal expectations. Number 5. Sean Connery refused to appear at the Japanese premiere because of the car controversy. When You Only Live Twice was scheduled to premiere in Tokyo in June 1967, United Artists planned an elaborate gala event with Sean Connery, the cast, and the 2000 GT convertibles on prominent display. But 2 weeks before the premiere, Connery informed UA he would not attend under any circumstances, creating a publicity disaster. Connery's refusal stemmed from his terrible experience with the 2000 GT during filming. He'd been uncomfortable throughout production, barely fitting in the car, even after the convertible conversion. He'd endured multiple incidents where the car stalled or broke down while he was trapped inside, requiring crews to physically lift him out. Most embarrassingly, during one breakdown in downtown Tokyo, with hundreds of onlookers watching, Connery got stuck trying to exit the low car and fell onto the street, bruising his hip and ego. Japanese photographers captured the moment, and while those photos were never published, Connery was humiliated. He also resented being criticized by the Japanese press for ruining Toyota's masterpiece, as if the convertible conversion had been his decision rather than a practical necessity. Connery told UA executives he had no intention of celebrating a car he viewed as a cramped torture device that had made filming miserable. UA begged him to reconsider, offering additional payment and accommodations. Connery refused all offers. The Tokyo premiere proceeded without its star, with George Lazenby making an awkward surprise appearance instead. This snub infuriated Japanese audiences and media, contributing to the film's disappointing Japanese box office performance. Number 4. The car's headlights were replaced with film lights and caused electrical fires. The 2000 GT's pop-up headlights created a significant problem for filming. When raised, they blocked camera sight lines and created unappealing shadows on the actors' faces during night driving scenes. When lowered, the car appeared dead and lifeless on camera, lacking the visual pop that director Lewis Gilbert wanted. Cinematographer Freddie Young tried various solutions, including external lighting rigs mounted on camera cars, but nothing satisfied Gilbert's vision. Finally, Young's team made a dangerous modification. They removed the 2000 GT's actual headlight assemblies and installed small film lights powered by portable batteries hidden in the engine bay. These lights were far brighter than automotive headlights, providing better facial illumination for actors. But they were never designed for automotive use and had zero weather sealing or vibration resistance. The first night shoot using the modified lights lasted 15 minutes before one light short circuited, sparking and setting fire to nearby wiring insulation. Smoke poured from the front of the car, forcing immediate shutdown. The production's electrician spent 3 hours rewiring and fireproofing the installation with heat-resistant materials. The lights worked for the rest of that night's filming, but required constant monitoring. During the full production, the film lights caused 4 separate electrical fires, all caught and extinguished before major damage occurred. Toyota engineers who later examined the cars were appalled by the amateur wiring work and the fire damage to original harnesses. Repairing the electrical systems back to factory specification cost Toyota over $12,000 per car after production ended. Number 3. The famous beach scene was impossible and required towing the car. One of You, Only Live Twice's most iconic shot shows Bond's 2000 GT driving along a beautiful beach with surf lapping at the wheels, sunset in the background. This shot appears briefly but became central to marketing materials. But here's the secret. The car never actually drove there. The beach scene was filmed at Senri Beach near Akama, with soft, wet sand that would bog down any normal car immediately. The 2000 GT, with its low ground clearance and narrow tires designed for paved roads, had zero chance of driving on beach sand. But director Lewis Gilbert insisted on the beach shot for aesthetic reasons, believing it captured the film's Japanese coastal setting perfectly. The solution was pure movie magic. The production used a Land Rover towing the 2000 GT with heavy steel cables hidden from camera angles. The Land Rover, off-camera and driving in firmer sand above the tide line, pulled the Toyota, while cameras positioned at specific angles made it appear self-propelled. Stunt driver Maston Gregory sat in the 2000 GT maintaining steering control, while the Land Rover provided all motive power. The famous shot of the car with surf washing around its tires required 11 takes because waves kept stalling the Land Rover. On the 5th take, a larger wave washed into the 2000 GT's interior, soaking the fake foam dashboard and shorting out electrical systems. The The final take that appears in the film lasted exactly 7 seconds of screen time, but required 4 hours of preparation, rigging, and repeated attempts. Number 2. Toyota offered to buy the film rights and destroy all footage. In August 1967, 2 months after You Only Live Twice premiered, Toyota's executive board made an extraordinary and desperate offer to United Artists. Toyota would pay $20 million to purchase all rights to the film and permanently destroy every print in existence. This wasn't about suppressing a bad product placement. It was about Japanese national pride and corporate reputation. The convertible controversy had escalated beyond Toyota's control. Japanese media portrayed the chopped 2000 GT as symbolic of Western disrespect for Japanese engineering excellence. Editorial cartoons showed James Bond sawing Toyota cars in half. Consumer surveys revealed the film had actually damaged Toyota's luxury brand perception in Japan, the opposite of the intended effect. Some Japanese buyers canceled 2000 GT orders specifically because of the Bond association. Toyota's board calculated that the film's long-term brand damage would exceed any amount they could pay. $20 million seemed reasonable to make the problem disappear forever. United Artists executives thought Toyota had lost their minds. You Only Live Twice was a massive commercial success, already grossing over $40 million. Destroying it was unthinkable. UA rejected the offer without serious consideration. Toyota made a second attempt in September, increasing their offer to $30 million. UA rejected that too. Desperate, Toyota contacted Sean Connery directly, offering him $5 million personally if he would publicly denounce the film and the car. Connery, who'd already privately expressed his hatred of the 2000 GT experience, seriously considered the offer, but ultimately declined on advice from his lawyers. The entire bizarre negotiation became public in 1993 when internal Toyota documents leaked, creating renewed controversy about the film.
And I'm about to do something I never thought I would get to do in my lifetime. Drive.
Number 1. Both original Bond cars are now worth over $1 million, each but cannot be legally driven. The two convertible 2000 GTs from You Only Live Twice are among the most valuable Toyota vehicles in existence, with insurance valuations exceeding $1,200,000 each. But here's the tragic twist. Neither car can be legally driven anywhere in the world. After Toyota reclaimed both cars from Eon Productions in 1967, their engineers conducted comprehensive safety inspections before placing them in museums. The inspections revealed catastrophic problems. The convertible conversions had so fundamentally compromised structural integrity that both cars were deemed unsafe for road use under any circumstances. The reinforcements added during conversion helped, but couldn't fully compensate for the missing roof structure. Crash testing simulations suggested that any significant impact would cause the body to collapse catastrophically. Additionally, all the production modifications, from the plexiglass windshields to the amateur electrical work to the shaved frames, had permanently altered the cars beyond any ability to restore them to legal specification. Toyota documented both vehicles as display-only exhibition pieces not suitable for operation in their official archives. Both convertibles sit in climate-controlled museums, never driven and never started. The engines are occasionally rotated by hand to prevent seizing, but they haven't run under their own power since 1967. Collectors have offered Toyota absurd sums to purchase the cars, with the highest bid reaching $8 million in 2019. Toyota refuses all offers, considering the vehicle's national treasures too dangerous to risk. These million-dollar movie stars will never drive again. Frozen forever as beautiful but deadly testaments to the price of making Sean Connery fit in a car that was too small. Outro 20 weird facts proving Bond's 2000 GT legacy was built on impossible engineering, cultural controversy, and corporate regret. Which fact shocked you most? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into cinema's most iconic vehicles.